Hey, what's up, guys? This AI agent I made just applied to 20 finance jobs in Dallas, while my unemployed self was sitting on the couch watching YouTube, drinking coffee. Okay, I'm not actually unemployed, but if I were, I'd be watching Peaky Blinders instead, while this AI agent searched endlessly for me for the jobs that I want, customized my resume based on my actual experience, and wrote a perfect custom tailored cover letter for each job. So if you want real automated custom job search results based on your exact criteria with cover letters and resumes based on your exact resume and experience, stick around and see how this automation actually works. In this step-by-step tutorial, you'll see exactly how I made this entire automation a possibility, uploading my past resumes and cover letters to Google Drive to update my very own SupaBase vector store with my own database of my experience, how this automation calls on that vector store to be able to pull my exact experience and incorporate that into the cover letters and resume, and also how this automation scrapes the most well-known job posting sites and returns only the actual jobs that I want to see custom tailored to me and me only. From here, you'll be able to build pretty much whatever you want to do whenever you're going through your job search journey if you are. But even if you aren't, stick around. This video shows step by step on how to incorporate so many AI agents interacting with databases, HTTP requests, and scraping, and honestly is applicable with any sort of workflow that you could build. So with that, let's just jump right in. So starting with the brains of this entire automation, this is all going to be triggered with a chat message. However, if you wanted this automation to flow autonomously and continually update and apply for jobs or custom tailor resumes and cover letters for specific jobs that are just hitting the market, that can totally be done very easily by just replacing this chat message with a schedule on trigger and then setting specific criteria on specific job roles that you're looking for or specific locations that you're looking at. And you can also tailor that down even more with some of the parameters within the HTTP requests that we'll get on later in the video. But for now, let's just jump right into the AI agent. This is just a very basic AI agent with a clear prompt telling it what the tools are that it's using and why it's using them and how to output that data. You can toy around with this. This AI agent calls on this job search tool and experience tool. Job search is mainly going to be accessing the job posting websites. In this instance, it's going to be Indeed and going to be recalling those specific outputs. So for this tool, I don't have much of a prompt in here or description. Just call this tool when I want to search potential jobs. Pretty straightforward, pretty easy. Same with the experience tool. Call this tool to get the user's current work experience and skills, and it will refer back to the prompt that's within the AI agent to be able to incorporate both of those into getting a structured output that you'd like. If you want to go a step further, you could also add a third tool. That would be a resume writing tool or a cover letter writing tool. And you could make it more specific to specific templates that you want to use or make that writing tool even better. But for this example, I wanted to just give a quick overview on how to make this work for just getting started. So with the first function, we're just going to jump right into the job search workflow. So getting into the information extractor, you can see that I have text coming in from the query of the initial workflow that we triggered from the chat. This node is really set to break down the data given from the chat and make it as consumable as possible for our future HTTP requests. I noticed that some of the HTTP requests were having trouble with some of the data that I was trying to pass on to it. So to be able to structure this data as consumable as possible and break it down to where you can really search a wide variety of jobs and have numerous different prompts thrown at it and it still worked flawlessly. This is the best idea that I came up with to be able to do this. So I understood what my HTTP requests were needing in terms of the data that needed to be passed on to it, which was query, location. You can pass on a ton more parameters into the HTTP request and really refine your search. But for this quick example, I was just passing on two. Now to get into the HTTP requests, I'm using Rapid API for this. And if you've seen any of my other videos, you'll notice that I've used Rapid API. I'm a real advocate for it. It can get a little bit pricey, but if you have specific things that you're trying to get accomplished within your workflows, such as always using Indeed, or you have a specific API in mind that you are going to be continually using over and over, then it's a perfect website to be able to get those. You'll just need to go to rapidapi.com, sign in, and search Indeed. And these are a lot more of the parameters that you can pass on to this API to be able to really refine your job search a little bit better, such as location, radius, how old you want it, how it's sorted, and then the job type as well. So to be able to properly connect this, I'll link my other video that goes into how to actually set up this rapid API credential type, but it's pretty straightforward with the generic credential type, header auth, your own header auth account, and I'm passing on the specific criteria that we gave it from the prior set node. So the query, location, and the fromage. And you'll notice I do have the send headers set up here. That is directly from the Rapid API documentation there. So this API call, based on the instructions that you pass to it, will search and return all available job openings and job postings with those specific criteria. However, getting into the next node, you'll see that I have an extra node here, and that is because previous job search HTTP request only gave the company name, how recent it was posted, the ID, the job link, where it was, salary if it had it, and the title. Now, from that, to be able to write a cover letter and a resume, you need the job description. So this next HTTP request is going to be taking the specific job ID and passing it through this API call. You see that I have ID hard-coded in there. That's just for the purposes of this tutorial video, just so I don't have a million new job applications and job cover letters and resumes, just so it'll be a little bit quicker of a tutorial. But you will basically post this job ID link at the end of this URL call, and that will return the description that you need to be able to format your resume and cover letter. Now, to get into the database setup and storing your experience, be able to pull from later. So I have it on a Google Drive trigger that's going to be monitoring my Google Drive every hour. This could be overkill, but if I wanted to update any other cover letters that I've made or update my resume, this will constantly pull from it. You could also put this on a click trigger where whenever you test the workflow, it just pulls those in automatically. But I just went the easy route here, and it's going to be watch a specific Google Drive folder, see its resume here, and watch for when a file is created. So when a file is created, it will pull from that, and this set fields will get the file ID from the specific trigger. So if we go ahead and run the step, you'll see that it returns a lot of information, but file ID is one of the data points that is being passed on to this node, and this will structure that ID into file underscore ID for us to be able to properly download the document locally within N8N, which is this next node. So this will take that file ID, JSON file ID, that's passed on from the set node here, and it will download locally here. We run that, see it's downloaded resume123, and then from there, it is a PDF. You have to know what kind of file you are uploading into this document space that this workflow is triggered on. For other document types such as Excel files, Google Sheets, Google Docs, PowerPoints, anything else, it will be structured a little bit different on how you are going to be extracting. So as you can see here, it has from CSV, HTML, text file. I would just encourage you to know what kind of documents are in the folder and what kind of documents you are going to be trying to upload into your database. For this quick example, I know these documents are PDFs, so I didn't have to create any alternative data extraction nodes for this. And just to get into the Google Drive setup, I just have very simple, very clean, very easy with dummy data resume pulled up. So this is obviously fake. Jake Timberwood, an experienced lumberjack. But for the purpose of this video, I just wanted something clean, simple, and easy for us to be able to look back to. So moving through this automation, once it's extracted from the PDF file, it will go to our SupaBase vector store. And I'm going to link the video of getting more into this SupaBase vector store and how to really set it up step by step. But for this example, I'm just going to kind of go through how I have this set up. A SupaBase vector store node, operation, insert documents, and from list resume. This is an own created table within SupaBase, and how I was able to do that, I'll go through very quickly, just going through documentation. So this is an N8N documentation. If you scroll down, you'll have a quick start for setting up your vector store, and this will take you to the SupaBase documentation, where you can copy this SQL code and then go into SupaBase, and you will need to have a project set up or an existing project that you can edit and upload documents to. Once you're in your project, you'll go to SQL editor and you will paste that SQL code in. Once those are pasted in, you'll see create table documents. I changed mine, all these document instances to resume, just to have better identity throughout this entire workflow. I'm not going to run this, but if you wanted to, you just control enter to run this and set this up. Once you set this up, you should be able to go to database And the schema visualizer will show that you have a database called resume setup, and it will give the table columns that are being collected. Now, once you hop over to table editor, you will see that you have a resume folder there, and this will be the data that you passed onto it. And here is our Jake Timberwood experience here. Let's hop back over to N8N, where I will be going over how I set up to extract that data and input it into our workflow to be able to call on that experience. So if you remember from the original prompt of the AI agent that's calling on all these workflows, I put in to access the user's experience, call on this experience node and ask for it to return experience, skills, education, what have you. So when this workflow is being called, it will be getting prompted to return the experience, education, and skills. So if we jump back to the original agent, we can go to the chat and we can ask, what is the user's experience? Enter that, and it will call on this specific node, and it will pull from that database and summarize that. What is the user's experience? He is a senior lumberjack at Forest Timber Co. and Timbertown, USA. Shout out Jake Timber, really getting after it. And it will give you the education and the skills as well. So how I set that up was a question and answer chain, and I have the query being pulled in. Now, it's very important that you set your prompt within your original AI agent to be able to pass on the correct information, what you actually want from this automation, from this workflow that it's calling on. So you want to specifically say what you want to be passed on as a prompt into this answer chain. So to think about it, so act as if you have a regular chat widget here and you'd just be asking questions just to this regularly. So whatever you would ask to this, that's how you would want to structure your prompt. So for example, in our AI agent prompt, return experience, education, and skills. And that will be directly passed on to this. So if we go to executions, we can see the execution that we just did, and we can see what was passed on. So get the user's experience and skills. That comes directly from our prompt on how to call on this exact workflow. So that will make this work a little bit better, and you will use this query to be able to pass on what we want to retrieve from our vector database store. And for these other steps, I don't really have anything special or specific. It is all pretty much just basic setups. So to see this full workflow in effect, let's just go straight to chat, search for finance jobs in Dallas, create resume for that job, and we can send, and that should execute our workflow. You'll see that it's working and calling on both those tools. And the job search API will take a little bit. The Indeed API is kind of slow and scraping through all those returns that it has. So give it a moment. Don't think that it's breaking. Just give it a sec. So I wanted to take some time while this is completing to say, if you like this content, like, subscribe, comment, or if you want to see some other content that's more specific to you, let me know in the comments. I'm usually open to building whatever you guys want, and we can work through it together. Now you see that it was created successfully. It gives us the search results, and the job title, company, creation date, and it gives you the selected position. For example, we had ours hard-coded to only show one, but if there's multiple that are selected, it will go through each one and give you the best results possible. And it gives you the description, the job duties, and the requirements, and the custom cover letter here. Now, even though this is a financial analyst position, which is what we searched for, if you remember, our man Jack Timber is a senior lumberjack, so it will still try and tailor this resume for it. So if you're a senior lumberjack at Forest Timber, you can always switch into finance as an analyst if you want by using this automation. So it's interesting that it's saying that I'm eager to leverage my financial analyst experience and collaborative approach to drive meaningful outcomes. So you could probably tailor it a little bit better to where you get better settings. You would probably do that in the temperature settings to make sure that there's no hallucination and you get matter of fact. This is just kind of a tutorial on how to get this up and running. And down to the resume, it shows the experience of a senior lumberjack at specific places and pulls right from your very own education and skills. And guys, that's it for the video today. Hope you really enjoyed it. And Jack Timber, if you're watching, like, subscribe, comment. If you're not Jack Timber and you like the content, please like and subscribe, and let me know what kind of content you want to see going forward, as there should be many more videos to come on different N8N automations and incorporating that into Cursor as well. And if you want me to go in depth and step by step in any of the workflows that you saw today, drop a comment down below and tell me what you want to see. I can go step by step and screen share any of the workflows that I built. Or if you just want these workflows pre-made, ask me in the comments. I can send it to you, no problem. But until then, see you next time, guys.